the author of Lessons from Party Rose. It's Phumlani Majosi. This is the Phumlani Majosi show. I'm in California, in San Francisco. I'll be here in California until the end of next week. I look forward to meeting smart, intelligent people who care about the world we live in. The budget fight, well done to the DA. They fought very, very hard here. I do commend them. We do need a stronger political force in our democracy, a political force that represents good pro-market values, right? We saw the DA fighting very hard in this episode of the budget debate. They fought very hard here. I've been arguing for many years that we need a stronger debate in our democracy when it comes to these issues of taxation policy, of government spending, on law and order. How we structure our society from an economic perspective. A stronger debate is critical. We haven't had that in our democracy, folks. We've always had the ANC that was just perpetuating the culture of welfare, the culture of victimhood, the culture of sky-high government spending, the culture of higher and higher taxes. No fiscal discipline. We haven't had that in our democracy. So to see a stronger showing, a stronger liberal showing, a stronger force in favor of pro-market values in our political system, in our governance, that is a positive. I do commend that the DA did great work. They continue to fight. I think that is great that they are fighting against an increase in taxes. We don't need taxes increased in our economy in South Africa. We're already an underperformer. Our economic growth is always less than 1%. It's very bad. Sky high unemployment rates, corruption, bad governance. Our economy is in very, very bad shape, folks. We cannot afford, and we have a huge tax burden as a society. We cannot afford more taxes as peoples of South Africa. So I'm glad to see the DA fighting this. To me, I think it was a good fight by the DA. Now, the big question, they've lost the fight, right? Because the budget has been passed. The VAT increase of 0.5% is expected to take effect on the 1st of May. The DA, of course, is taking the issue, the Democratic Alliance. When I say the DA, by the way, I'm talking about the Democratic Alliance, in case you do not know what DA is. They are taking the issue to the court now, right? They filed papers at the court to try and stop the increase of the value-added tax, an increase of 0.5%. Now, the big question, the DA has been fighting this, continues to fight. It has lost the fight. The big question now, I asked this question on my X account. Should the DA stay or go in this government of national unity, in this coalition government? Should the DA stay or should it go? I asked that question because I'm not seeing any effect by the DA in this coalition government ever since this coalition government was instituted in the middle of last year. I'm not seeing the DA having an impact here. It isn't clear to me what it is that the DA is achieving, right? Instead, the ANC is becoming a party that cannot be trusted. While it is engaging the DA, it is also engaging other parties to push through with its agenda. The ANC cannot be trusted, folks. The DA is not being effective in this government of national unity. Does it help to stay, or should they go? That's the big question we need to ask now, and that's what they need to decide on as a party. Now, I must be clear here. I don't believe the NC wants to work with the DA. There are people who say, well, the NC Ramaphosa has been willing to work with the DA and so on and so on. I'm saying there's never been a sign from the beginning, from the middle of last year, that Ramaphosa and his ANC do want to work with the DA. I haven't seen that sign, folks. If they really wanted to work with the DA, they wouldn't have had this big 10-party coalition government, it was not necessary, right? It was totally an abuse of the whole system, right? It was inconsiderate because taxpayers have to pay for the big cabinet, right? Um, so they didn't show, there was no sign that they do want to work with the DA from the beginning. And I do believe even today, they don't want to work with the DA. And we have all these, of course, these small parties who are ready to jump in, EFF, MK Party, and others. Look, it's fine. And I think they will work well. All these parties, they're all leftist socialist anyway, so they will work well with the ANC. They're not going to oppose anything. In fact, they will pressure the ANC to move far and far to the left, right? So these parties, it's all the same thing with the ANC, same ideology. So it's all going to work out if they do join this government of national unity. There will be no serious challenge to the ANC as the DA has been doing. So I don't think the DA is going to lose support if they do jump out of this boat. I don't think so at all, to remain being a force. In fact, I have been reflecting here in California about, what is it really that is good for our democracy? Is the DA being part of this coalition government? Is it really, especially, it's not having an effect? Which is better? Is it for the DA to remain in this coalition government with no effect in anything when it comes to policy? Or is it for the DA to be outside and be this vibrant, forceful, opposition party that it was for many years? Because it was respected all over the world for that. Wouldn't it make the debate even more lively, right, if the DA was outside and this government of national unity, which would be a leftist government of national unity, being challenged by the DA, wouldn't that bring more vibrancy in our democracy? That's what we need to think about as well. Maybe it's best for democracy if the DA is outside instead of being inside this government of national unity and basically helping to administer. Because we have people who say, well, some ministries the DA has been, has been doing well in leading them. Sure, that may be the case, but then all it means is that the DA is helping to administer the ANC's agenda. That's what it means. In other words, you are helping the ANC to ensure that it implements its agenda cleanly in an efficient way. That's what it is. There are not really any significant change that the DA is putting in place in terms of the direction of the country, right? So it's all about helping the DA, helping the ANC when it comes to the administration, right? Now, is that the reason the DA is there, to be an assistant to the ANC, to help the ANC implement its agenda? Is that positive for the DA? What really do they want? So these are the things that they need to consider. For me, I strongly believe that even if the DA was outside of the GNU, this government of national unity, and the government of national unity is made up of the ANC and the EFF and the MK party, it's all these are different factions of the ANC anyway. The DA will still remain a powerful force. We didn't lose anything, folks. In fact, it would make a stronger argument against the collapse of the country by the ANC. Now it is put in a weaker position now, the DA. It's in a much weaker position. It's being played left and right. The ANC clearly does not care about the country, doesn't care about anything. All it cares about is pushing through its agenda, right? So if the DA, they really need to consider these folks very, very carefully, right? And as I've said, what is beneficial for our country? Is it the DA being inside this GNU, or is it being outside? If the DA is inside this GNU, the debate is weakened, right? It's of course there will be times where it works hard as it has done with this budget, but it becomes really it's a tough one. It becomes a tough one. Whereas it's easy to fight from the outside and challenge the governing elite, or the party or the coalition government from the outside, and call them out and say your values are not the values that this country should be, you know, it's not the values that we need as a nation, to become a richer society. It's not what we need. These are wrong values. You want to implement very bad economic policies for the country. You are doing that. The country is sinking because of you, right? Can you make a stronger case there, folks? Inside the coalition government, it's not clear to me that the DA is going to have any serious impact, and that you know they it's what we need for our country. I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. They need to consider this carefully. They are not losing anything by being outside of this coalition government. It's Phumlani Majozi. This is the Phumlani Majozi show. Remember to get yourself a copy of my book at a bookstore near you, or you can order on Amazon.co.za. I'm on X at Phumlani Majozi. I do also have a website, phumlanimajozi.com. I'm in California. We'll chat soon.